feels so good. It feels so right. The subs are on.
It's like lipstick on a pig. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to the Socially Unacceptable But Sober podcast. My name is Dino. I am an alcoholic.
I'm Jonathan. I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Matt. I'm alcoholic.
And tonight, we have a special guest, and her name is...
Hi, I'm Laurie, and I'm an alcoholic.
Laurie.
Bunch of alcoholics up in this piece.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
Another Friday night.
All right, it's a Friday night.
Right?
Friday night. All right, guys, check this out, man. If you want to click, like, share, all that good stuff, Jonathan's going to tell you all about it.
Yeah. So our socials, we are on everything. You're probably listening to this on one of our many outlets. We've got YouTube is the Subs podcast on YouTube. We're on Spotify. Also, the Subs, SUBS podcast, iTunes, Amazon Music, and we've got an email, too, so we really would welcome anybody telling us feedback of like what they think about the first few episodes. You can comment on the videos. You can leave feedback in Spotify, but our email is subspodcast1@gmail.com. And all this stuff will float around the screen if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, just imagine it in your head and spell it out. SUBS podcast 1.
Just know we're three ugly ass motherfuckers. All right. So please like, click, share, all that stuff. If you have any suggestions, email them to us. If you don't like it, email that to us too. Not that we'll care, but email it to us. All right. So tonight... How we normally do it, again, this is a podcast, a sober podcast. We share about recovery, throw out suggestions, maybe get some suggestions. We welcome any suggestions emailed in to us or any comments at all. We'll have a guest probably once a month, and tonight is our first guest, which is Laurie, and we're very honored to have her. There's a segment in this show called One Time Bro. I'm sure you guys caught it last week if you're fans.
Well, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks ago.
Last week was Jose's story. That was because
that's right.
Punta Cana.
$20.
Yeah,
20 beans.
Yeah, the 20 beans.
So yeah, we'll be having guests once a month. The One Time Bro segment, which you guys got 2 weeks ago, Matt's robbery and bag over his face, which was hilarious.
Not a paper bag.
And the One Time Bro segment is when one of us tells a war story, but we put a little humor into that. And tonight, your guys are going to get 2 One Time Bro stories because Laurie is going to give us one of hers, and Jonathan is going to give us one of his.
I can't.
Oh, you can.
I'm going to do it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
had one from last episode.
Dude, I got thousands, bro. We have plenty of time for it.
All right.
So anyway, that's how we're going to do it. Jonathan is actually going to tell his One Time Bro story, and then we're going to go directly to Laurie's story. And then at the end of her story, she'll have her one-time bit. So, with no further ado, One Time Bro.
Here's my one time, bro. So one time, bro, I was, this was early on my drinking career, my drinking and smoking weed at this moment in time. And I think I was still in high school. And my MO was that I, as you well know, I'm a shit starter. But I don't have the physical capability to back that up, So I was very keen
Liquid courage.
on when growing up, surrounding myself with friends that were bigger than me. People that could fight my fights for me. I was a bitch. What else you want? I was a bitch.
I have to get his heels dirty.
Yeah. I gotta protect this moneymaker. This fucking moneymaker here doesn't protect itself. So anyway, in high school. We were my parents, my folks had gone away, and we were hanging out at the house, getting ready to go to a party. And this story is kind of twofold. So my sister, I shouted out last time we were on, was there with a couple of friends, and my buddy Ryan, was massive at the time, big time bodybuilder, was hanging out with us, and we were just smoking it up, smoking the reefer, and
Littering and
And at one point, we were so high, I was able to put catnip into the bong for him to hit, and he had no fucking idea. That was pretty hilarious. But
You can't really knock it though.
can't knock it. I mean, cats love it. So he gets so high to the point that he passes out on my couch, and we still have to go to this party, right? And it was a rival town next door to us, this was Brewster. And so he's out cold, and I'm drinking at this point. I'm, totally stoned, and get this brilliant idea that I'm going to draw a triumphant cock on the side of his fucking face. And it wasn't with like, it was Sharpie, permanent. This wasn't going anywhere. And I'm an artist.
Good and dark.
I'm a drawer.
The big fat veiny,
I'm a
He's
drawer.
a big drawer.
a big fat veiny bastard, bro.
Big fat triumphant
yeah.
veiny bastard. And so I draw this thing on his side of his face while he's still passed out. My sister is like probably, if I'm 18, she was probably like 11 or 12, and she's like painting his nails and such, and he's not getting up. I had a couple other buddies there, and I was like, this is going to be hilarious, dude. We got to get him to the party without him seeing this shit. So I turn off all the lights in the house. I shake him real violently. I was like, all right, we got to go to the party. And he gets up, half days. We get in the car. We start driving to the party. Me and a couple guys that are in the car are fucking trying our best to hold it in, because here's Ryan with a fucking triumphant fucker right on his
And side note, he probably fucked every single one in that car up.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. So we get to the party, and again, me being the shit starter I didn't really like some of the people at the party, and it just conveniently happened that the minute we walked in, this kid who I did not like comes up to Ryan and says, dude, you got a dick on your face. So Ryan just turns to him, you got a dick on your face, and proceeds to pummel him into the ground. Fight breaks out at the whole party. Everybody's fighting, and I'm, of course, not. And finally,
Jonathan's on the sideline watching.
John just was the kindling. He was like, here you go, guys.
Jonathan's on the side with some popcorn watching the
in
show.
stitches, dude. I mean, he used to fight kids. He was like the gorilla. He would just jump on you, and you didn't know. It was like, oh my God, it was hilarious. But one of our buddies, Henry, kind of started, he was like trying to get Ryan's attention. He was like, Ryan, no.
You really do have a dick on your face.
You have a dick on your face. So that was the one time, bro. I survived that.
He knew you did it in the end.
Oh, of course. He
Yeah.
told my sister that, because my sister's a big pet lover, he told my sister that he was going to hang all of her pets from the fucking trees and like all this vicious shit. But,
Ryan,
Shout out to Ryan.
Ryan, if you're listening, you get a lot of shout outs on this show, buddy. I got to tell you. You know what's worse? When you wake up with a dick on your face, you know what's worse than seeing that?
What?
Is finding out that it was traced.
I heard that the other day.
All right, guys. All right, we're going to continue with the show. Laurie is going to tell us a little bit about her experience, strength, and hope.
I just want to interrupt real quick because I love that we have Laurie kind of our first
Yes.
real guest, because when Laurie was doing her thing, COVID time, she interviewed me while she got a tattoo. And I told my story, and that was pretty cool. So I'm very happy to hear it. There it is.
It's the
Still
circle of
there.
life.
Oh, that was the tattoo while she
She
interviewed
interviewed
was
me. I
like,
tattooed her.
That's impressive, because the last time I was sitting with Matt, I was very sensitive, and
Oh, he's
I
sensitive.
couldn't. He's like, "You're not talking much, buddy," and I was like, "Yeah, it fucking hurts." Man.
The best part was when he said, I'm sensitive. I thought he was like emotional. So I'm trying not to laugh at him. And he's like, nah, it hurts my back.
Yeah, it really hurts, and I can't fucking focus when, needles are fucking. I'm good, but that one was.
That day was not
I
good.
was off that day.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry.
All right,
It's all
Laurie,
good.
you ready?
It's all good. Well, thank you guys for having me on. This
Absolutely.
Is awesome.
It is our pleasure.
You got to talk into that
Oh,
thing, though.
Jesus, Murphy. Okay.
You can
All
fold
Murphy.
it back a little bit if you want. You can push it. It moves every which way you want.
All right, whatever.
control over
okay.
that,
I
yeah.
got control over
That's
it.
your
All right.
world. That's your world.
All right.
Right,
Oh,
look at that.
there we go. All
right.
right. Woohoo. All right.
Cooking with gas.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much. When Matt asked me, I couldn't say no. I've known him for
Long time.
a long time, 13, 14 years
Yeah.
maybe. I met Matt when I first got sober. I didn't know what to do for fun. And so somebody told me to join the bowling league, the sober bowling league, and I don't even know if I had a year yet. And I walk in, and all of the partiers are to the right, and all the sober people are to the left. And there was one lane that kind of like separated it, and I'm standing on that lane just staring. And this guy over here comes up to me and he said, "Hey, the party's over here."
The real party.
The real party's over here. So yeah, Matt and I have known each other for a really long time, and I'm not unique, for God's sakes. I had a great childhood. Come from a real big Italian Catholic family in Waterbury.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah. The only difference in my story is that I did not drink when I was young. I didn't start drinking until I was in my 30s.
Wow.
Way to hold out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
She made up for it, though. Don't you worry.
I did.
yeah.
Yeah, my dad, he wanted boys and we were all girls. And so it was, I knew how to fish and hunt and play golf. And so I was a big old tomboy. And, but anytime you could not please this guy, he was one of those ones that were like, Dad, I got straight A's. Well, what do you fucking do? You want a medal? You're supposed to. So I think that I always chased that, trying to make him proud. Trying to make him proud all the time. And
I think you find that's a common denominator with
Yeah.
alcoholics in general.
yeah, and
always
it was
trying
just
to
like,
please
damn,
somebody.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Wolcott, and my father decided to move to Waterbury my sophomore year of high school. So I went from Wolcott High to Kennedy.
I did the opposite.
And so did this guy.
Oh my God, it was so
Fucking opposite,
crazy.
huh?
I was just like, talk about a culture shock, and
yeah.
like it's just like, holy
I hated
shit.
Wolcott.
And I was just like, whoa. And I was 15 when we moved to Waterbury, and I met a boy.
Oh, boy.
I met a boy.
Was he Italian?
He was right off the boat Italian.
Forget about it. It's spaghetti the meatball.
So I
Pasta
I
fagioli.
I kind of married my dad. I mean, I didn't date anybody else.
Right.
He was my first boyfriend. Well, I got married when I was 20. He told me how to dress, where to go, what to do all the time. And I had 2 kids by the time I was 23, and I never went anywhere. He didn't drink. He didn't do any of that either. He would go down to the clubs, but I'd stay home. I'm not allowed.
Go down to the clubs for the
I was like,
discoteca.
what the hell?
Discotheques.
But it was just like like I said, a repeat of like, I think I married my father. Like, this is just crazy. It was just, I don't know. And he was never happy either. He, whatever his deal was. And I found myself always depressed. I didn't like to drink. The Italian wine was like nasty to me. Like,
Hush your mouth.
Straight fire.
I know, it was just like, ugh.
No, that shit is that shit's
and I
strong.
just
Those
remember
little
this.
baby glasses. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you needed. And I just remembered this one time up in Montreal, Canada, visiting the family, and there was one girl that was going to marry into the family. She was from Waterbury, and she
Or he
was
was
kind.
like, don't do it.
And I remember being at this party, and the champagne started flowing, and it was the first time I got drunk, and I got her in the bathroom, and I was like, "Look at me! Look at this family! Run!
Oh, no.
I did, and she ran,
Good for her.
and I was not allowed to talk to her anymore. Oh, I talk to her now, though. She's back in my life.
That's good.
But yeah, and I realized at that moment that alcohol gave me wings. I
Fuck
could
Red Bull.
I could say what I wanted to say. I didn't have my head down. I was able to talk. And so I kept leaving my first husband, running to my grandmother's, didn't want to tell mom and dad because they're going to be upset, blah,
Was
blah,
that
blah.
Nani? Was that Nani?
Nani, yeah, Nani.
Noni and Nana.
There was some infidelity there with him, and I finally said, every time I would try to say something, he would always, shut me down. This is the way it's going to be. And somebody introduced me to Cocaine.
Oh, damn.
Hell of a drug.
Oh, damn.
Hell of a drug, that cocaine. Hell of a drug.
Talk about being able to say stuff.
Oh, yeah, you could say
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Can't even shut it down.
It's amazing
my
how the
God.
lies that you can come up with on cocaine and sound so convincing.
At
People's
least
like,
in your
no
head.
shit, that many people died in building the
Yeah, like
Empire State
I
Building?
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, on cocaine.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm
You're
out of
cool.
here. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. I'm taking the kids. I'm leaving. And it was just one of those things. And I called my dad, and he came and picked me and the kids up. And my parents are like, well, it's about time. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Would you have listened to us? Probably not. But at 32 years old, I was living back with my parents, and I
Feeling
went
great.
to
Feeling
my
great about yourself.
went to my first bar.
Damn.
First
bar.
bar.
Jesus.
How old were your kids? Like 10?
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
8 and 10.
8 and
Yeah,
10.
I was like, no wonder this motherfucker doesn't want me going here. This is fun.
This is the shit.
I went crazy. I was like a dog out of a cage.
Kid in a candy
What bar
shop.
was it? Is it still around?
Downtown Waterbury. No, it is not.
Was it the West Side Lobster House?
No, it was not.
Brass
I
Horse?
used to work at the Brass Horse.
No shit.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had some great friends at the Brass Horse.
Mel's.
What the hell is this? We're talking Waterbury here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, bro.
What the hell is what was it, West Side Lobster
West
House?
Side
Yeah.
Lobster House.
In the middle of Waterbury?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually
Fresh lobster.
It was
I bet.
actually a decent place.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah.
Where they
It
get,
was.
They get the
The
lobster.
cocaine wasn't so good, but the lobster was really
They got
good.
the lobster out of the Naugatuck River.
Yeah. So, and that I was a cocktail waitress up at Angel's as well for a long time. So yeah, I just went wild. My drinking took off. The cocaine was out of control.
And that was when it was fire.
Fire.
Kerosene
Jeez, we shouldn't
shit.
even be talking like
I-
this, but rainbows.
Yeah.
Oh, the rainbow.
My
Crossroads.
gosh.
What's a fucking rainbow?
Yeah,
bar.
you're too young, man.
The Mark?
Well, he ain't from around here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that's
He
true,
goes,
yeah.
what was that?
Plus the rainbow flaky cocaine.
Let's put it this way.
Fish
At-
scale?
At,
Fish
scale.
15 years old, I'm at the bar. 15, copping in the rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
The only
So
thing
the-
that mattered there was money.
Was it the rainbow was a place?
The Rainbow Cafe.
Rainbow.
Oh, I thought it was like a marking on a baggie like they do with dope.
What's it?
you
What
know?
is it now? Wingstop or something like that? It's like a chicken wing place.
No,
have
turn
no-
into a pizza
Oh, the
shop.
pizza place. Yeah, that's right.
I wonder if
don't
their
even know.
cocaine still good.
Maybe because they're open till 3:00 in the morning. So and they have a pool table in the pizza
Maybe,
parlor.
right?
Perfect.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So. Fucking Waterbury.
All right, we're sidetracked.
That's okay. That's all right.
Get it
It's
back
all
on the
good.
rails. Get it back on the rails.
Reminiscing.
See what happens? You throw
Yeah.
cocaine in the mix with a bunch of addicts. We're like,
not
look
even-
at cocaine is great. Cocaine is the best.
To me, and this is what's crazy. To me, it was my lifesaver because I could speak up.
Yes.
And so I was blowing through money like crazy. I had 3-4 waitressing jobs just to keep myself going. I was going to try to sell some because I was a cocktail waitress, and by the time I got my hands on it, I did it all. I never sold any.
It's just logical. I mean, that's
I
a
was
smart
up
way
for
to go.
weeks, and but honestly,
This shit's too good to sell.
I started,
You got to test it before you give it away.
yeah.
Try a little bit.
Good Lord. But I do know that I started really neglecting the kids. Like, I just was like, Mom, take care of them. My sister, take care of them,
Yeah.
like everybody else. And I decided that, cocaine was so bad, I should stop it.
Start smoking it instead.
No, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good.
Focus on the alcohol.
Focus on the alcohol because
What's
it's
real
legal.
important. Yes.
And it is cheaper,
Yes.
and it is so more. Everybody can, doesn't give you a hard time about it. And in walks husband number 2,
Sucker.
another
Gotcha, bitch.
another Italian mechanic.
What is wrong
I,
with you?
I don't. I don't.
She's
know.
consistent. Hey, she's consistent.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
that's
don't
right.
know. Oh my gosh. He did not tell me what to do or how to do it. He was more laid back, but it got to the point where he couldn't make decisions, and it was like, I didn't know if you wanted chicken or fish. Well, I put the chicken out, so like I don't know. But I always blamed everybody else. It was everybody else's problem, and it wasn't mine. And so my drinking quadrupled. But hey, I am a vice president of a company. I'm traveling all over the place. I'm making six figures. I'm driving around in my Lexus. So what that I get up in the morning and I need till 12 or 1 or 3 to feel better.
Yeah.
It goes away.
Yeah.
It goes away, right? I'm not homeless. I didn't lose anything. I've got all these things, and but there's signs. There's these little things, and maybe I should cut it down a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little.
A little off the top.
Yeah. I stopped going out to bars because I started to black out and I didn't know. And then I would hear somebody say, well, Laurie put on quite a show last night. I was like, oh, shit. And when you
I
don't
always
remember.
used to wait for the calls the next day to hear what I did.
And then I turned a room into my house into a bar. It had bar tables, stools. I had karaoke. We had darts.
One customer.
Yeah. That sounds all logical steps to me.
OMG. Like, it was
bring it
just
on.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Going to the 3 different, liquor stores so that they wouldn't know, like, really, like. But I'm thinking I'm smart and I'm unique.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, like everybody else, some of the health issues, it was just getting ridiculous. My whole life was revolving around it. And I have my youngest brother. We're 12 years apart. Oops. My mom and dad. Yeah, my mom went back to school and then she got pregnant and I was 12. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, me and my brother are 2 peas in a pod. I love him with every ounce of my being.
What's his name?
John.
John.
Johnny.
John.
He's got a good Italian name.
Good
there.
Italian name.
John.
He moved down to New York City to pursue his career, and then he went out to Los Angeles. And I knew that he had some issues. My mom didn't have any. My dad, nobody in my immediate family, but me and my brother, and maybe a sister. But you have to. This is a self-diagnosed disease, people. So.
Yeah, you better not call me an alcoholic.
Yeah.
No, we fight.
Fuck you
Yeah,
up.
we fight.
Fight.
But my brother had decided he had gone to a couple of rehabs, and and I'm waiting to see how he's doing. And he'd always stop and start drinking again, and I'm like, okay, cool. And
Still got my partner.
yeah, and he came home one Christmas, and it was just I couldn't keep up with him, so I was like, so you know what? I really don't have a problem. I'm good. He's the one. And
As long as I'm not that bad.
as long as I'm not that bad, right? And I remember him calling me 3rd time going into a rehab, 2 days in. It's like a really fancy schmancy rehab. And he's walking out and he's going to go do, a 12-step program. And I'm like, what?
Loser.
Fucking
Like
quitter.
you spent all that money on rehab and you're going to go into like meetings? Like, all right, good luck to you, right? And
Switches, brother.
whatever. But I didn't see him every day.
Yeah.
And so we talked every once in a while, and I'm starting to hear, that he's sounding pretty good, and things are happening for him. And I got.
So would you say he's your first exposure
Yes.
to turning your life around?
Yes, absolutely.
Seeing the results of what could happen.
What could happen? So he's got a friend of his who's a hairdresser to a famous magician. I could say that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can I guess who? Probably not.
And I really enjoyed this guy. He was on TV, and so Frankie invites me out to Vegas, and we're going to go to this show. He's going to put a show on in Vegas, and we're going to go backstage, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and Frankie was also sober, and I don't want to be the party pooper. And I don't want to, like, I never knew at this point where the drinking was going to take me. So I decided just not to in front of him. And so I go to this show. I get to meet this guy. He's giving me autographs. I'm meeting his family. And we were at this after hours after. It was just insane. I'm like, oh my God, there's the band Good Charlotte. Like, it was just like, it was insane. Drugs, pot, drinking, everything is going on. And Laurie was being a good girl.
Sounds like Laurie was missing out right there.
And I was like, see, I'm not an alcoholic.
See?
I can do this.
Yeah.
And Frankie proceeded to tell my brother how good I did. And I was like, yeah. And I remember coming home after 3 days out there and just coming home, going to my bar in my house, pouring myself the biggest fucking martini that I've ever
gotta
poured in
make
my
up for
life.
it.
And I was just like looking at it and I was like, hello, lover. I missed you.
Yeah.
Let's
Game
catch
on.
up.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything after that night. And so that went on for another couple years. But my brother had gotten some time under his belt and actually invited me out to California because he was having a sober anniversary, 1 year. I felt so special. He invited me, just me. Nobody else in the family. He wanted me to come out there.
Weird.
I was so excited. Drunk off my ass, walking into
Where
a...
else are you supposed to go?
Well, it's a celebration, right?
Yeah.
It's a celebration,
It's a-
bitches.
There's the crazy
Stella.
part is that every single one of us in here is like, well, yeah,
Yeah,
it
of
makes
course.
sense, man.
Yeah.
Normal people be like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding me
Right?
now?
But I walk into this meeting and I'm surrounded by over 150 gay men. They were all gay, fabulous, telling me how fabulous my shoes were, my dress. I was just like, oh, this is awesome. Oh my God, I love this. And I'm listening.
Listen, drinks.
Yeah. And I'm listening to each one of them stand up and share. And I'm like, the hell? Oh my God. I'm starting to identify with everything they're saying. But me being the great alcoholic that I am, I start crying because I must be a gay man trapped in a woman's body. Because
It's
there's
the
no
shoes.
way I'm an alcoholic.
So
Maybe I'm
A
a
gay
gay
man trapped in a woman's body.
Honest to
That was
God,
more believable.
and honest to God, I believe that. I was crying like, oh my God.
That's beautiful.
I honestly, and my brother just laughed his ass off. He goes, "Okay, girl, keep." He's like, "You're
He's like, keep it in your pants.
But he laughed. He smiled at me. He never said to me, I think you need help. But he is the one that planted that seed. And I just was looking at his surroundings and the beautiful home that he had made and the jobs that he was getting. And all of his friends were all sober. And they had some serious time under their belts. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe. But it's the reservation.
Right.
Always.
One day.
And the fear.
And if I say I'm going to stop, then I have to. Shit. So I would do a couple weeks here and there, and I didn't want to. So I ended up going to see a counselor one-on-one. And the counselor was cute, and I didn't want him to think that I was an asshole. So
Was he Italian?
Was his name John?
He was, as a matter of fact, the way I think about it.
Was he a mechanic?
No, he was a
Moonlights
counselor.
as a mechanic.
Right?
It was a joke.
And I just was like, oh my God, I can't tell this guy. He's going to think people pleaser. Like, I don't want anybody to think I'm bad.
Right.
And so I'm lying my ass
Of course. See, all
And
of us.
yeah, I'm like, oh God. January 8th, 2010, my 22-year-old son walked into my office. If I start crying, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Dino's just getting a phone call in the middle of a podcast.
No, that's the time.
Oh,
Keep
I'm
joking.
sorry.
No.
Oh,
It's just,
yeah,
just
yeah,
a reference.
okay.
Just a
Okay.
reference.
All right. And I knew that he was smoking pot. I never bothered him about it because I figured, I'm drinking. How am I supposed to call him out on it? And pot, what's wrong with pot? Nothing's wrong with pot. And he said, Mom, it's not pot. And I'm like, Nicholas, what is it? Just tell me, what the hell's going on? And he said, I'm addicted to heroin and I can't get off. This girl has never been brought to her knees, and I could not stand because I was like, no. Because my idea of a heroin addict was the same idea I had of an alcoholic.
Right.
Homeless, stealing, brown paper bag, dirty, blah, blah, blah. This kid has got a polo shirt on and a backpack. Like, no. There's no. And
That was actually my disguise when I was selling heroin. Backpack and polo shirt.
yeah, I had
Nobody
no clue.
knew.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I said this to Matt. A funny thing happened on the way to rehab. Here I am thinking I was saving this kid's life, and he actually saved mine.
Wow.
He's battled for the last 14 years, but last Friday, February 16th, I celebrated 14 years, and he celebrated 1.
Nice.
So on the same day.
wow.
On the
What's
same
his
day.
first name?
Nicholas.
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 That's my oldest son.
Shout
Yeah.
out. to
Congratulations,
Nick.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Keep coming, brother.
Yeah.
Nicholas is the one that I met at
Yeah.
the Thomason meeting
Yes.
all them years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
He but it takes what it takes. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just takes what it takes. And I do different things, and you know, I thought for the longest time going to these, you know, these meetings, like I was looking behind my shoulder, like I'm doing something wrong and I'm paying my penance in a church basement. And it's all on how you perceive things, right? I mean,
Perspective. That's
it
right.
is. It's perspective. And it wasn't until, you know, COVID came along and I started getting online and listening to podcasts and listening. I'm like, wait, you do what? Like there's all these different ways. And so I wasn't so hard on Nicholas anymore. I didn't pick out his I picked out his sponsor, damn it. That's the guy you're gonna have. Like, telling him what to do. Because it worked for me. But what works for me doesn't work for you, and so on and so on. So I am totally open. I decided to start recovering out loud.
Ooh, I like that. Recovering
That's a good
out
one.
loud.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like I'm not ashamed of it anymore.
Right.
And I think a lot of us put that stigma on ourselves because
Especially in the beginning.
Yes.
In the beginning. Absolutely.
Oh my God!
It's,
I don't
it's
wanna
embarrassing in the
It's
beginning.
embarrassing because I was
Fear
embarrassed.
and shame.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
laugh. I remember we were talking about this too, like the belly laughs. Like I felt like I was at a funeral all the time, and you don't laugh at a funeral.
No.
What's funny? And a year and a half in, I was like, I found myself laughing so hard that I couldn't stop laughing, and I actually stopped myself. Like, am I supposed to be doing this? Because
Am I having too much fun? This is not
because
supposed
it's
to
a
be.
serious issue, and I get it, and I get it. It's a serious disease. I totally get it, but we have to have good time. For God's
Absolutely.
sake.
I learned in the beginning for me a few different phases. I was so militant and like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
can't do that.
something that's brittle will only break. You got to have a little give and take. There's got to be a
Absolutely.
little ebb and flow in this thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was one of those ones. If you don't do a 12-step program, well, good luck. Like I was that because I was so like, if I didn't do this, I was going to die. So if they told me to stand in the corner and spit wooden nickels, I was going to.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I did not want to feel like that anymore. I just did not want to feel like that anymore. And yeah, I mean, I can't say that every day is good. Like, you know, I was waiting for the butterflies and fucking kittens,
The
and I'm
harps
like,
and the
what
angels.
the hell? What? Where is it? Where is it? It's life,
I
and
think,
that's
though-
what the problem is that we don't know how to deal with life.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said though. Like you said, if you had to, if they told you to stand in the corner, you would, and
Yeah.
that's really. I used to hear people say stuff like that. I'm like, what are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
But it was because I could never achieve the willingness.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that I'm going to stand on one leg and hop and bark like a dog, but I'm willing to do whatever I must do to stay sober.
Yeah. And I tell you, it was one of those times Nicholas had, you know, because I had all my reservations, right? If my husband leaves me, well, my second husband left me, so if I lose my career, I did. If I lose this, I did. If Nicholas relapses, he did. All of these things. If I get arrested, I'm a convicted felon. I'm going to
Join
drink.
the club.
Yeah,
Me too.
I'm gonna.
I don't know nothing about that.
I'm going
Plead the
to
fifth.
I'm going to drink over all of these things, and I didn't. And the last one was if I had a terminal illness. So fuck it. But I've watched women and men in this program come in and just with the grace and dignity, and I'm like, you know what? That's the way I want to go.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the way I want to go. But I remember one of the many times that Nicholas had relapsed. And I went to like 9 meetings in like 4 days, and I'm looking for that answer. Somebody's going to give me the secret.
Piece of magic.
The secret.
Yeah.
And this old timer walks up to me. He's like, I know what you have to do, Laurie. He's like, you got to continue to set a good example, and you got to pray. And I was like, that's all the fuck you got? Like, no. I go, this kid's going to die.
Yeah.
Not my kid. And he's like, and he looked me dead in the eye, and he goes, he might. And that's his journey, not yours.
What a tough one to swallow.
Yeah.
I couldn't breathe.
Jesus.
I couldn't breathe. But I will say this. He went out to California to get sober, and somebody called me and said that they couldn't find him. And I remember laying back in the bed, and I felt this wave of peace come over me, and I did. And I just said, God, I hope that he's okay. But if he isn't, I would hope that it would be fast and painless. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, I never told him what he needed to do. I just kept saying, you know what, you're a big boy, you do whatever you want. I can't have you here with me while you're active, but if you need help, I will get you help. I will be here. And 1 year.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I think people underestimate too, like how amazing that could be, for the lay person that might not struggle with this addiction and alcoholism that we have, but a year separated from a substance that's got you by the neck on a daily basis, that lives a disease that lives between your ears.
And it tells you don't have a disease.
It tells you don't have
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is, and we talk about this in some of our get-togethers, our gatherings.
At
The
men's spot.
At the
man
men's
spot.
At the man spot, we talk about this.
Man
Some of
spot.
the strongest men that I've ever met and women,
Absolutely.
are in this program.
Badass, man.
and have survived stuff like that.
It's just.
I
don't
think
know.
too. Most parents and children of the disease, the parent wants to, like you were trying to be his sponsor, right? And you're thinking if
No,
I
no,
just
that's-
get
yeah.
this right for him,
Yeah, you
he'll
just want to take him and shake him.
and
yeah.
really you gotta
Yeah.
just let him go.
Yeah.
He has to find his own way.
Everybody says that to me too. Like, it's easier said than done. And I'm
Yeah.
like, don't I know it?
Yeah.
Like, to watch that. And it's heartbreaking. And, but I just let him know that I absolutely love him. I will be there for him. And, I had gotten him into like, oh God, we were down at the emergency room last year, and it was like one of those things where a guy comes over and he's yelling at him, do you know what it's like to be on drugs? And don't talk to me. You have no idea what I'm going through. And somebody did know what he was going through. It was like a peer support person. And he goes, Nicholas, do you feel like killing yourself? He goes, well, I don't have any plans, but I feel like dying right now. And that guy knew the words to say so that he could put him in 3 days.
Got it.
Sure.
Detox him. I was like, yes.
Yes.
And then he calls me and he's like, Mom, I'm in a psych ward. I'm like, yeah, you are.
8th floor, baby.
Remember that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Well,
You made it, son. You made
But
it.
accept it.
Yeah, you better accept it.
Here's your
Yeah.
gift. We take your laces and your belt, and you get this nice
Have these
robe.
paper slippers.
The I
Yeah.
love myself jacket.
Yeah, but oh my God, whatever it takes. But I'm so grateful to that man
Yeah.
for doing
Absolutely,
that, because he would
absolutely.
have just went back on the street like he's
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
other times
Yeah.
and done it again. But yeah, I'm thrilled. I've got some great friends, real true friends
That's right.
today that I never had, and I send out all my little just for todays every morning. That's my
yeah.
meditation of the day. It takes me about an hour, but this is something I do for myself as well. I know I'm a pain in the ass. Some people out in the West Coast get them at 4:00 in the morning, but they know to turn off their phone and get it when they wake up. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade this for anything, and I know people say that all the time, but in this one date at a time, I thought was so fucking corny. I was gonna stab somebody if I heard that one more time. I was going to stab somebody. All these
face.
slogans like were so crazy, but damn it, they work.
I hated those cliches. I remember hearing them and looking at the posters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
The sad thing is you don't hear them and see them on the walls as much as you used to either.
No more bumper stickers.
None of that.
I get excited when I see one of the bumper stickers. I'm like, this guy's must have been around for a long time, man.
Yeah,
I
right.
haven't seen a bumper
Most
sticker in
likely,
10 years.
most likely he just bought a used car. It was already on there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I mean, I am married for the third time.
There you go.
Not an Italian guy.
Not an Italian.
Yeah, baby.
I said to him, we were both sober at a picnic, and
You are truly
said,
recovered.
I said, "Are you Italian?" He goes, "No." He goes,
My God.
yeah.
I said, "Do you know how to fix cars?" "No." "Here's my number."
Nice.
And we've been
That's
together
hilarious.
for 10 years, and it's great.
Congratulations.
He's great. It's wonderful to have somebody.
He's an angel.
Yeah.
They have to be, right? They absolutely have to
They
be.
have to be. But we get each other, and you always know. Like even at work, like somebody will come in. I work for a physical therapy place, and somebody will come in, and I just look at them, and they say something, and I'm like,
Friend of Bill?
yeah.
Friend of Bill's?
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I know you.
I know you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I
It's
got,
wonderful.
that's I got a question for you because he's also in recovery. Some of our spouses are not in recovery. How is that? Is it easier? Well, I mean, do you have anything to compare it to, or
Well,
for
my
you?
first two.
Yeah, yeah, true. There you go.
I just know that even if and I have made amends to both of my exes because I blame them for everything,
Right.
and that's another gift that I got. And the father of my children passed away last year of cancer, and we got really close before he died, but we got to say some stuff to each other that, but he said he never understood why I did the things that I did. And my husband now, because he's in recovery, he could say something and I could see that he's in a mood and he's just like, you know what, I'm going to a meeting, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like,
Hurry.
thank God.
Like the keyword, right?
Yeah. And
So-
it's like one of those things.
I
yeah.
guess, and I asked that question because my wife is, she just declared herself sober, a year ago, and that was great because she could just make that decision.
Yeah.
Like, whereas I had to get pummeled into the
Yeah.
ground
Yeah.
in oblivion and
Right.
still crawl my way up.
Beaten into submission.
Right.
But the way that I think about it, I was like, yo, if somebody else, if a romantic partner of mine starts using like the program against me or something like that, or it sounds like you got to do a 10 step.
Yeah.
Ooh, it looks like those character
Yeah.
defects are popping up.
No, never. Not
yeah.
one time.
Here they are.
Neither one of us have said any of that to each
Oh,
other.
so you keep the.
We keep it separate. We go to
That's right.
separate meetings.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too, which is crazy, is because when I first got sober, I only hung around with guys, biker guys, for protection.
Oh, like
And-
me. That's the way to do it. Yeah, you can run your mouth,
Right,
whatever you
yeah.
want to say.
Like I never met a guy that wanted to ask, so how are you feeling? and my sponsor was a tough biker. And I was like, I'm not asking her. And my brother goes, that's exactly who you have to
Yeah.
ask. And she drilled it into me that, men will pat your ass, but women are going to save your ass.
That's
And
right.
so get yourself around some women, like for the love of baby Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now my closest friends are all girls. I never had girlfriends.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they do. They call you out on shit.
That's a.
And I'm assuming guys do too.
It's the same thing with the men.
It really is.
Say.
It really
Yeah.
is.
They're
Yeah.
more on the petting
That's
each other's
a
asses.
lot of
but-
women say that. Like, I've never
Well,
had
that's Jonathan.
female friends and blah,
No.
blah, 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 blah.
No, I
and,
never did.
I can't relate. And
Yeah.
that's why I hang out with the guys.
No,
And then they
it's-
soon find out.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with hanging out
Because
with the
our,
guys.
our perspective, our perceptions, our
Yeah.
conceptions, our fixed ideas,
Yep.
all that stuff, got to go out the window.
Absolutely.
Got to go out the window.
Absolutely.
Because what's been killing us.
Yeah.
So, the beginning of this podcast, you were like, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
sitting.
I won't shut the fuck
she had a
now,
real
see?
tough time.
And I'm sitting here going, this is an amazing story. You know what I mean? This is absolutely
I'm sorry.
fantastic.
I went way over.
I
I'm
had
sorry.
no problem believing that once
I
she
know.
got going,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
she was all
I was
set.
like,
So is it safe to say that you are a part of the No Matter What Club?
I am
There you go.
proud of it.
There you go.
Proud of it.
No matter what.
No matter what.
NWC, baby. No.
So
NCW? NWC. No matter what club. NWC. Acronyms.
so thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
It was
Thanks.
amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much
you
for
guys
that
are
story.
awesome. You guys
So,
made me feel comfortable.
Are you ready to do a one time, bro?
a one-time bro? Oh my God, I don't.
I know you got
I
one-time
I don't
bros.
think so.
Yeah, little innocent Laurie. She don't have no one-time.
Didn't I tell you about the cocaine thing that I did it all like one time?
One time I did
And I
cocaine
had a drug dealer.
This is
for
one
20
time.
years.
I did
Chasing
cocaine
after
twice.
me.
I just like the way it
first time and
smelled.
The last
Yeah,
time.
the one that I was supposed to sell for, and he
Yeah.
came after me, and I had a hideout for a week. You mean that one? That one time?
One time,
Oh
bro.
my God, yeah,
I just like the way it smelled.
yeah.
Yeah.
It does smell
Oh.
good. I mean,
God, oh
Smells
my.
like gasoline sometimes.
let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Cheers.
If we did
Cheers.
cocaine for the first time and it completely sucked and it smelled horrible and I probably wouldn't have did it again. But I fucking loved it, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
was-
oh my, I can't breathe. I'm gonna die. I think it's bad. I'm
me more.
overdosing.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me
10
more.
minutes later, I'm like, guy, you got any more of that shit?
The jaw
Yeah.
going a million
Yeah,
miles an hour.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. No, I. There's so many one-time.
Oh, yeah.
things. It's just crazy. And then toward the end, I don't remember them. And people told me about them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
You're like, one time, bro, I remember.
I remembered. One time in a meeting in my very early years, somebody said that they needed a coffee maker. And I raised my hand because I had like 3 in my basement. And I offered one of them up. And they were like, here's the key. I go, for
I
what? You
love
want me
it.
to go get it now? No, we would need somebody to make the coffee. And I'm like, oh, fuck no. I'm not doing
I didn't get sober to do this.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I'm not doing
I got all the
that.
coffee makers you want, but I'm not making
I'm not
it.
making
Yeah.
You gotta have it,
I
but
got-
I'm not making
That's
it.
hilarious.
Oh
That
my
is a
God.
good one time, bro.
That is. That is.
probably-
I never thought of a
Might be the
recovery
only
one time.
Sober one time.
Sober
bro.
one time. I
That's
like it.
beautiful.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Oh my God, I love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for,
Yeah, thanks for
it.
being
It was
here.
our pleasure.
Absolutely.
It really
and
was.
I
man.
knew when I texted you, I said, I know it's last minute, but I knew you were my go-to. I knew you would come through.
Absolutely. And I never work late on Fridays. See that?
That's beautiful. God works.
Yeah.
All the
Because
time.
if I was down home, I would be like, oh, I don't know, 8 o'clock. I gotta get up. I gotta come out there. But I was on my way home. So
Where's home for you?
Derby, Connecticut.
Derby.
That's not too far.
Derby.
The Valley.
The Valley.
Jump on 8. Boom. Done.
Yeah.
You're right there.
It's not too bad.
Right there.
But I
Right there,
my
Bab.
mom still lives on Highland Avenue.
Forget about it.
Walks to Mount Carmel every day,
Oh,
and yeah,
Spaghetti Mountain.
yeah.
What? Mount Carmel?
Mount
a-
Carmel School.
It's a school on
Church.
on Highland Avenue.
That's
Very
on there.
Italian, man.
Very.
Because
Whole
we have
Italian
we
neighborhood.
have a whole Mount Carmel in New York.
Yeah. Mount Carmel, New York.
You're in Connecticut now, bro.
Yeah, it's not that far away.
Yeah.
No,
They
it's
still
not.
they still do the
festival.
church in one of them. The masses in Italian. So,
Oh yeah. Yep.
The D'Amelios. I love the D'Amelios. I worked for them for a long time while I was sober, and I know he's not going to mind me saying this, but Joe is sober, and I end up every year passing my coin down to him.
Oh, beautiful.
Every year.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
does not do a program, and he's like, when he said to me, what is this? Who's Bill?
It's a friend of yours. Trust me.
Yeah, I love him, and no matter where you go, no matter what you do, somebody that you know that walks in, that you work with, either themselves, their partners, their children, their somebody,
Yeah.
and I find myself always having conversations about
Yeah,
it.
so
So
we're always, in some way or another, you're touched by this
Everybody.
everybody.
nowadays.
It touched me a lot.
It touched me every
I
day,
heard that about you.
multiple times a day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So that was a very interesting one time, bro.
Yeah,
Like
love
I
that.
never ever
Yeah.
in my wildest dreams would have pictured a sober one time bro.
No.
About a coffee.
But I actually have some of those too. Now that she
course,
said that, I'm like,
yeah.
oh shit, I got sober
We go
one time,
right to
bro.
the fucking shit side
Yeah,
of things.
yeah, yeah.
She brought it back
We're
to the
retarded.
good.
We're retarded.
Yeah.
That's all good. It's all good.
So again, Laurie,
All right.
thank you so much, man.
Thank
it was
you.
awesome. You did a
Nice
great
to
job.
see you, Dino.
What's that?
I said it was nice to see you again.
It was good to see you too.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Nice
Pleasure's
to see
all
you
mine.
always. Nice to meet you over there.
So anyway, guys, socially unacceptable but sober. My name is Dino. I am an
Ironically enough,
alcoholic.
real quick
Hey,
though,
Dino.
right? That name was originated in the Sober Bowling League.
Yeah,
Was it really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah.
The subs.
The party's over here.
We gotta think of what do you call a person that follows, that subscribes to the subs, other than the obvious? A sub,
Subby.
a subby,
A
subber.
subster.
a subster.
We gotta. No,
What would you guys like to be
shut
called?
that down? We
Let
gotta-
us know.
Yeah.
Click, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you'd like to be called.
Can't
He said that like a professional.
Didn't he?
Wow.
Professional.
He practices this shit at home. That's what it is.
Yeah, in the mirror.
And that new mirror with the lights around it that he
Ooh.
built. Yeah.
That's
a good
is
idea.
With the
Fancy.
lights on.
Fancy.
Tune in next week, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh my God.
John, you want to shout out our social stuff again one more time? before
Wrap
we
it.
Wrap it up.
again. So email again if you want to comment, you want to like, or you got some input for Laurie's story or for any of us. Subs podcast 1 SUBS podcast 1 at Gmail's our email. We're on the Socially Unacceptable But Sober YouTube page. We are also on subs on Instagram, and we, like I said, we are on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are there. We are there.
Wherever you turn,
Yeah, we're
there
there.
we are.
Yeah.
Socially unacceptable.
And
but
like our
sober.
friend Dave says, if nobody told you that they loved you today,
Better luck
Better luck
tomorrow.
no.
I love it. I love it. He al- one of my
oh,
favorite lines of Dave. He's like, "If I could drink like a normal person, I drink all day, every day." Shout out to Dave.
Dave.
Dave is going to be
Oh, yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. A lot of people don't want to be on their face and
Visible.
their anonymity and stuff like that, which I
get it.
totally understand.
get it.
100%.
But I didn't really care when my name was in the blotter every other day, and,
Yeah.
and everybody saw me, shitting myself on the side of the road trying to scrape a fucking stem. So
Yeah.
I really don't care who knows I'm still.
Well, I had, just to let you know, when I did do my podcast, it was just YouTube. It was all visual.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of people that didn't want to come on because of their job.
Right.
And so we just kind of
Blacked them out.
I didn't even black her out because we were doing it by phone, but we put like this, I don't know, we put like a picture or something on there, and it worked because her story was great, and so there was ways to get around that. So
Yeah.
or
could-
have them wear a paper bag or something.
Ooh,
Ah.
if
I
you could
was
find that bag,
corrected. I was corrected. It wasn't a freaking paper bag. I'm
Oh,
going to have to
sorry.
correct the YouTube.
okay.
what was it? Canvas?
It was a
Yeah.
canvas
Yeah,
money
canvas.
Dude.
Well, hard to cut holes in.
That's why I had a good night.
Yeah, you got to have a good night. You got to have a good
There you
night
go.
for that.
Can have them wear have them wear the paper
Yeah.
bag. There you go.
Wow, dude. What's this? Episode 4?
4. We're 4. This is official.
Well, this is official.
It's
4,
official.
But really, it's 3.
It's
with
really
us.
3.
Want to
yeah.
call it 3.5?
Because
We
we were
got to give Jonathan the shout out for when he was on vacation.
Free-
Jose,
freelancing it.
Punta
He
Cana.
met Jose down at Punta Cana.
Hey, do you know what
Down in the
Punta Cana?
Pooter.
You know what Punta Cana means?
No.
White Point.
What?
I looked it up while you were out there.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna act like I knew this shit my whole entire life. Like, yeah, White Point. You know,
White
that's why
Point,
it's named after this.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Oh, that's smart.
White Point.
So one of the interesting and kind of sad things that I learned while I was down in Punta Cana, and if you listen to Jose's story, you'll notice there's a lot of God in there, which I love. There wasn't a lot of recovery.
Fuck the devil.
Yeah, fuck the devil. I believe in God. I
I
believe
love
in
that
you.
guy.
And that is because when I looked up any support groups down there, there are 2
Yeah.
on the whole island.
Right.
2.
Wow.
2. And, I was not going to venture off on my little merry
It's probably
way.
a coffee maker and a door greeter.
Yeah. And it was
Lawrence Coffee.
probably in Spanish, so I wouldn't have understood much other than,
Coffee maker.
So, so raising awareness there too of like this is disease that does not discriminate, and a lot of people don't have the opportunities that we have
Right.
here. So if you're gifted this opportunity, man,
Don't abuse it.
Yeah,
Don't waste it.
and grab it with both hands, because it is it's a life like we've got. You know, I only know these. I don't know if I've talked about this last episode, but I only know you guys I moved here in 2022.
Yeah.
So
clear.
Right before you got married.
yeah, so and I feel like these guys are my brothers. Like you know, I just talk about them about anything.
Except when
with
he's
them.
got a resentment, when I'm busting his balls.
This I sometimes
You
I
gotta, yo,
feel
listen, we're in a group text
like
together,
I'm talking
and I literally just watch it go down, and I'm like,
to a bunch of old ladies.
I'm like, these guys are fucking they're killing me, man. I'm like, I can't stop laughing over here. Matt will be like, I love when Jonathan gets tight.
Oh, and then we all have the same. We talked about that. We all have the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
sponsor.
All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, again, click, like, subscribe, share, all that crazy good stuff. Tune in next week for more of the Socially Unacceptable But Sober podcast.
Yes.
We will have another guest soon. We will let you know a week in advance.
I have a guest.
We got them lined up, man.
Next week, we got a guest.
Next week?
This
Yeah, I
guy
got a
doesn't
guest.
know how to book shit.
Fuck it.
Says the guy that's working till like 9 o'clock at night on a fucking Friday. I'm like, who does your books, man? Who does your scheduling, man?
Me. Fuck that shit, dude.
3
Yo,
months
when
in
my feet hit the ground in the morning, son, it's time to win, bro.
I'm winning.
Word.
Time to win.
Word. Word. So, all right, guys, episode 4. It was fantastic. Again, Laurie, thank you so much. It was awesome. Wrap it up.
That's it.
Feels so
Felt so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Felt
That's
so
already
right.
played.
The subs are off the air tonight. I hope it felt real good for you. Afraid